right, guys, we got a very special video for you guys. We're gonna break down our strategies, but we want to break down our stories as well. I have Lasib on here, guys. If you don't know, his links are below for his YouTube and his Instagram. Check this guy out. He's been killing it lately. And bro, we've been following each other for like years now, right?
Yo, man, if I'm not mistaken, it's been like 3 to 4, 5 years, somewhere around those times, man. Because, like I was saying, that, I knew you from when you had a few thousand subscribers here and there, and, we've been speaking since then. But, yeah, I'm just excited that now this is going on.
Yeah, and everybody watching this is our first time actually like being on a Zoom call. We've texted each other on Instagram, but we were like, bro, we need to set something up to give back to the people because me and this guy right here have a lot of powerful knowledge that we want to share with the world and impact a lot of lives out here. So I think what do you want to do? You want to share stories and then we'll share strategies with
Yeah,
them?
yeah, yeah. I think we can start off first with sharing the stories, and then there we can move over to sharing the strategies. And I remember, like, when was I think it was last year or 2 years ago, there was a time where I was supposed to come to the States, to your place and stuff, and things happened on my side too. But yeah, yeah.
No, come out to California whenever you want.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely, man. I'll be pulling up. But yeah, man. So in terms of stories, so I should go first.
Yeah, tell them your story. I'm excited. I haven't even heard the story, so let's hear it.
No, man. So for me, I started, like, I grew up in a small place named Lephalale, which the province is Limpopo. So there, when growing up, there's not much stuff going on. Like, there's literally like nothing. It's like a small town whereby there's like a max of 5,000 people type thing, So yeah, and most of my friends were, if not involved in things such as like drugs, alcohol, like violent things, like those types of things, being young naughty boys. Let me put it that way. So those were the type of type of people, I was surrounding myself with. Up until one day I saw, I don't know what made me see that, but I saw a young guy, like 16 years of age. He just bought a car, he bought a house for his mom. But that guy at that time was doing what we call skateboarding. And his name was Niger Houston. And I started searching him on the internet. Niger Houston. you know,
You know Niger?
I know, man, Niger's my role model for good, man.
Bro, he kills it out here.
he does.
Skating, like he was right almost close to me.
Yo, that's insane, man. I'd die to just be in that spot, man. Yo, like, I've known Niger since I was like, what, like 13, 12 years old, somewhere around those ages. And for me, like, seeing what he done, because how I knew him was a youngster. He bought a new car at 16 years old. He bought his mama a house and all that. And I asked myself, like, how does skating make this much money? How does a person, skate and make that much money? So eventually I got to skateboarding. I started skating, and I loved the whole game of skateboarding, because what it does is that you are solo. You don't need, like, a massive team or anything for you to succeed. It's only you practice strategies. The more consistent you become, that's when you start seeing results of your skating and stuff. So for me, it allowed me to not be involved in certain things in a way, because after school I'd go skate, record some videos, hoping to get like a deal, with Monster or some companies like that, your Red Bulls and them. Yeah, so
It's crazy. I grew up skating too.
you did. That's insane, man. So you know how to, like, what's the best trick that you have?
Bro, the best that I could do is like a varial. I
Varial flip.
couldn't I wanted to do a three flip for the longest time, but I never could get it down.
Yo, but you could land it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, even me, like, I would land it certain times, but if I don't do it for a week, or if I don't skate for a week, it's gone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah, so throughout that process, man, I had to fund my skateboarding career, because, skating, you need to, there's shoes, you're playing around with the shoes, you need new skateboards every now and then. And where I stayed, there was no skate parks. So for me to be able to skate at levels that I wanted, I had to travel and stuff. So that's when we started. I met a friend. He's been a good friend of mine, but he just now introduced to me entrepreneurship in terms of selling sweets, packets of sweets and chips at school, at the high school that I was in. So that's what we started doing, was selling sweets and stuff. And for a good like 3 to 6 months, we're making good money, up until at school eventually we just came and said, no, you're not allowed to do this. We're shutting you down. It's against the school laws, all of that. And yeah, we had to shut down our business. So from there, I moved, I changed school, and as soon as that happened, but a lot of things happened throughout that process, because the same friend that I started this business with, 2 years down the line, we're now in grade 10, which is 16 years old. He passed away, and he was like my closest friend. So that for me was like, it was like a life changing moment. I never saw things the same. Things were like, everything was just like has changed for me. So what I done is that I now went back to the life that I was trying to escape, which is drinking almost every second day. I'm being under the influence. I'm just partying, doing all those things till I was 18, 19. So when I was 18, 19, my matric results. So before high school, you go to college, but before going to college, there's what we call matric. So with matric, what happens is that uh, if you pass, you'd be able to be accepted in your varsities, your colleges and stuff. My results were very, very, very low, so they didn't qualify. I didn't qualify to be anywhere. So my mom and dad were forcing me to go to different types of, like, these low minimum type, colleges and stuff. I only went there for a few months, but while I was there, that's when I started discovering what we call forex trading. And how I went about discovering it was, one day I was just chilling. I was in the hood at the time, at the corner, no plan, no future. I'm here. I'm trying to sell, weed here and there. But one day, one of my friends was like, "Hey, you need to listen to this person," and then he gave me a song. Meek Mill was the artist that was singing that song. And was just speaking about coming from the street life, coming from disadvantaged families, being able to make it out, all that. And for me, I felt like it was like impossible. It's things that can never be done, because I've never seen anyone do that and stuff. But as soon as I started hearing that and hearing him speak that with believe that he's done it, I started searching. Is it possible? Is it possible? But as soon as I saw that, yes, it is possible, this guy says it, this guy seems like he's done it. I saw his old videos when I was still young, my age, where he is now. There's changes that happened. I was like, this guy knows something that I don't know. And fortunately, during that time, I never had a phone, but during that time, my mom got me a nice smartphone. Because before that, I was using these small phones, those small phones that they don't have internet access. Yeah, that's what I had. So just before, when I was 19, my mom got me a nice smartphone, and because I told her I want to be involved in what you call like making money on the internet. People are making money, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. She didn't know. I didn't even know forex trading at the time, but she got me a smartphone, and luckily around the hood that I was in, they brought some public Wi-Fi hotspots. So I had access to internet. I had access to a smartphone. So every single day I'd go on the internet, search how to how to make money on the internet. What are the best things to make money? I'd search all these tabs. I've done so many things. I've tried network marketing. I've done like surveys. I had to reply to some online surveys. I'd get a few rewards which you can turn into dollars after a few months. I've done like so many different things. But the one that seemed easy for me, in terms of when you are right, like you buy. When you are right, you make more. When you are wrong, you can just lose as much. Was trading, forex trading. And as soon as I saw it, like my mind changed. Like for me, it was more like things will never be the same type thing, because it means that if I get this right only once, it, like, a lot of things can happen. So at the time I was still in college. So while walking to school was a distance, like maybe 10 miles, like the distance to school. So yeah, I would walk to school sometimes, instead of like taking a cab, because they would give me an allowance, but the allowance was not enough so to sustain myself and to go to school. So I had to sacrifice. Yeah, that's why I had to do that. But as soon as that happened, like, when I started trading, there was a day where I walked into class, and the lecturer was speaking, saying things like, if you guys focus, dedicate, in the next 5 years, you guys are gonna be, you're gonna get a job, you're gonna make 25,000 rands, which when you convert it to dollars, like $1,300, you're gonna be making $1,300 a month, you'll be living life. And in my head, I'm just looking at him like, no, that's not where I'm trying to be in the next 5 years. Making this much? No, 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 no. When I opened my MetaTrader account, like that day was like my biggest day, because I was making like $70, and I've never made $70 ever before in my whole life. And at this time, I've been trading for like maybe 8 months. Like I was like 8 months in my trading career, on which at very first, my first account I funded it with like $22, and then I grew to like $33, and then I blew it all. So I had to now hustle once again to refund it. But So I eventually had like $70, and then I was able to grow it and grow it. So with that $70 that was being made, when the teacher said that I open my MetaTrader, I look at it, I'm making $70. In my head, I'm like, no, no, no. I can't. If I sit here and I listen to what he's saying, that means in 5 years' time, I'm gonna be where he said I'm gonna be. I don't want that, you know. I actually wanna be making this $70 every hour, you know. so, so that was my mindset. If possible, I wanna make it every minute of the day. So in my head, the only option was if I leave school, if I drop out of school, I would have a lot of time to focus on the markets. And you know, I didn't overthink it. I didn't, you know, think about if it will work out for me, because I never saw anyone that done it. Like truly speaking, I never saw anyone that dropped out of school and went to become successful. That was around my age at that time, so it was difficult to even believe, but I just done it. And you know, we pushed the first few months when I dropped out. It was tough, you know. Parents, they didn't want to believe in it. On top of that, you know, I had like, you know, I had the skill, but I didn't have the money, so it was tough even trying to just, you know, get my trading account to make me, you know, profits that would sustain me. So things were not moving well, up until there was a time whereby I met up, like one of my good friends. He inherited money from his dad. His dad passed away, so he inherited money. And then he came to me, he's like, I can see you have a skill, you know, I'm gonna invest in you and you're gonna trade, and whatever money you're gonna give me profits. I was like, okay, that's a good move, let's do that. And he done it, and he gave, I think when he converted, he gave me like around $3,000, maybe $4,000, somewhere there. And you know, I had to give him some money back in return in the next 12 months plus profits. But things didn't go out well. You know, I blew that account within like 3 months, 4 months, and and I'm not working. I've never worked a day in my life. You know, I've never even had that much money in my life ever before. So for me, it was like a very tough time. And at the time, my lady at the time was pregnant as well. So I felt like, you know, I cracked, I figured out life, but you know, now I'm seeing myself like back in this position. In fact, I was in negatives, but you know, something somewhere somehow told me that I need to just continue doing, you know, the right things, which at the time I was reading books, because I started focusing more on personal development. I was reading books, I was reading trading books, I was watching a lot of YouTube videos. You know, I cut out things that were wasting my time. I only, you know, invested in things that are growing me. So at that moment when I was still at zero, I told myself that this is what I need to focus more on, like just doing things that are not gonna need money, which is reading books, you know, putting my attention and time into things that are gonna grow me. And yeah, I done that, and you know, doing that in the process, I was able to regrow my account. And at this time, I had my company Forex Chasers. We started it like maybe 4 months before that whole thing happened, before my friend borrowed me money and stuff. So even there, you know, I started also putting more attention on it, because now I could, you know, tell people with my experiences. You know, I could tell someone that, hey, you know, this is what I done and this is what I didn't do, you know, type thing. So we started pushing that. And then like a few months later, like maybe 7 months later from that, you know, things just started, you know, to come into how can things started, like, you know, making sense for me. Because even at that time, what I done is that I told myself, let me make my YouTube channel and I'm gonna record my journey. So if it happens that one day I'm successful, I can go back and see where I come from, you know, see my journey, see the downs, see the ups, so I can believe in the journey more. You know, it was even for me to be able to believe. So one thing that I done is that one of my first videos, when I published it, I never knew that YouTube, you know, you publish and then it goes like worldwide. I thought it was like for me, you know. So I published my video like that, and you know, next thing I'm seeing myself, you know, I'm getting comments, you know, I'm asking myself, where are people, you know, knowing me from, you know, why are people calling me? And at the time I was driving my Uber, because like a few months after, like 7 months after that whole scene happened, I bought my first car, which was a Uber, like Uber sedan type thing. So I was driving my own Uber, and while doing the YouTube, while trying to push my business for excuses, at the same time, while trying to push my, because now I'm trying to get all the money coming in so I can put it in my trading account, so I can grow it, so I can pay back that guy, you know, type thing. So I was like doing anything possible to just make money. And yeah, now people, when they start jumping in Uber, they're like, hey man, I think I know you, have seen you. And I'm like, you've seen me? No, not me.
That's
Like,
wild.
yeah. They're like, man, you are that guy that talks about trading. I was like, oh, what did you see? And they're like, YouTube. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know that, like, you know, YouTube, you can be like that. Because before I had a YouTube channel that I was skating, you know, my skate videos. and I'd put it up there and I'd show tricks like how to heel flip, how to ollie, how to. But my videos were not viral. Like no one even like it has like 10 views, 6 views, So I never thought that like people would know me, especially from even this. But when I started getting that, people saying that I know after like maybe 4 rides of people saying that they knew me, I put my thing, my app, my Uber app off. I just closed it. I said, no, I'm no longer doing Uber. It's not gonna be safe for me. I'm just gonna figure this thing out called trading. And luckily at that time, because of the fact that now people started knowing me, and when they started knowing me, YouTube on its own already brought like sort of like an engagement towards my side. So even my business is now starting to grow. But my Uber was already making me money in terms of I could handle myself with the Uber money. But my business now, the money that it was making, I was able to refund back in the business. So basically, I didn't need to trade to fund myself. I was just trading for to grow my account, and be able to just get to a specific number that I can be free with. And yeah, man, when that happened, like a lot of things changed. Like from that day, things were never the same. We eventually we took some profits that we made, and then we funded them into the markets. I grew my trading account. I paid back that friend of mine that borrowed me money, and then from there, even like started experiencing much more bigger things because I used the same drive that I had, like that edge, that drive that I had that was pushing me off. You need to make like this money and pay this guy. I used it now to, I'm basically just trying to experience financial freedom. And since then, we never looked back, man. Like with just every hustle that I've made with trading, we're making good profits like almost every single day. Obviously, the markets is not it's not a guaranteed thing whereby every day I can say I'm making $1,000, but on profitable days, we're making good profits. Even my company, Forex Jesus, at some point we hired over 20 people that are working for me at a specific time that I gave a salary to every single month. And even my YouTube at some point it grew to a point where I was making good money from it. I didn't even have to depend from trading, from whatever. Like I was just doing from my YouTube at the same time impacting, because I noticed that the impact is what I needed. And yeah, from there, man, I never looked back, man. It's just been a journey, and till this day, we just push him, man. So yeah, I think I've been speaking for too long.
Bro, your story is super powerful. It's crazy how you started. I know there's so much more to it, but we have
Yeah,
a story. We have a similar story because, all right, let me go to my story. I love this story, but
yeah,
when I was growing up like you, I started smoking weed when I was 13 years old,
yo,
started drinking when I was like 13, 14 years old. I was hanging around people that are like 16, 17,
oh yeah,
18 when I was younger. So overall, like through my whole childhood, my parents got divorced when I was really young,
yeah,
and I was going like 1 week to my dad's, 1 week to my mom's, and then my mom and dad, when like I was growing up when I was really young, were doing drugs. But my dad made a choice and he said, "I'm gonna go sober. I'm done with the drugs and drinking."
yeah,
But my mom continued drinking. So going back and forth after the divorce, my parents basically my dad found out that my mom was drinking, leaving me and my sister at home all the time, and all
yo,
this other stuff. And he got full custody of me and my sister.
yo,
So my mom basically went to New York. Haven't really talked to her over the years. She tries to reach out sometimes, but it's just she made the decision to leave her children. So
yeah,
after that, I think that had some type of effect on my childhood where all throughout middle school, I was getting suspended and moved from different schools. All throughout high school, I was getting suspended, getting in fights, getting in trouble. I was the ideal problem child, like horrible, bro.
yeah,
And when I was 17, like when me and my friends would go and party, I would go and steal alcohol. So I'd go into the store,
yeah,
I'd get like a bottle of vodka, I'd put it in my pants,
yeah,
and I'd walk to the store and we'd drink. So when I
yo,
was like 17 years old, I was an alcoholic, bro. I had bottles of vodka in my drawer in my
yo,
room at home, and I was like drinking alone. And they say one of the first signs of telling that you're an alcoholic or not is if you drink alone, you're fucking an alcoholic.
that's true.
And like if you're at dinner or something, that's fine. But if you're at home drinking, like, so I was like, oh my god, like I'm an alcoholic at 17 years old. It got so bad to where like I started taking alcohol to school. So there's
Yo,
this one time like I took alcohol in a water bottle to school, and then I got caught. I had to go to the principal's office, and then
yeah,
they found it. I got suspended. My dad was pissed and he like grounded me. A week after that, I got caught for having alcohol once again at the beach. Had to call
Oh,
my dad. The police said like, "Yo, he's getting a citation. I'm gonna have him go home with this person."
yeah,
Had to deal with my dad that. And then it was like the final strike was I got caught for shoplifting. Bro, I love to steal clothes. I'd go into the store and I'd wear like a baggy jacket and baggy jeans. And I'd go to like Macy's, like even stores like Saks Fit, high
yeah.
end designer. And I'd
Yo,
get a
high-end designer stores.
bro, listen, I would go to these stores and I'd get a bunch of clothes, go into the dressing room, and like the little the sensors they have on the clothes,
Yeah,
I would I would go and rip it. So
yeah.
there's a little tear in the actual shirt or whatever I was stealing, and I'd take it off and
Yeah.
like throw it to the side in the fitting room. Then I'd walk out with brand new clothes. In high school, I was always the freshest one, but it when I tried to steal shoes, and I would always steal shirts and pants. I'd always get away, but I tried to steal shoes, and then I got caught. I remember I was right about to walk out the door of the store,
Yeah,
and some guy grabbed my shoulder. He's like, "You need to come with us." I was like, "Fuck!"
bastard.
So yeah, so I'm in this back office and they're like telling me this is what's gonna happen. Overall, you need to find someone to come pick you up. I was
Yeah,
like, I'm not calling my dad. My dad fucking hates me right now.
yeah,
He's gonna kill me.
yeah,
So that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna call my older brother. And back then, like my older brother would like kind of beat me up if I messed up because
yeah.
my older brother's 2 years older than me. So he wants to see me do good. He doesn't want to see me mess up.
Okay.
But I remember when I called him up, he came and picked me up. And then on the ride home, he didn't really talk to me at all. And he said this one sentence. He said, Colt, you need to understand that your actions aren't just affecting where you're going to be in the future, but you're slowly but surely killing our father. And I never really understood that my actions as a dumb kid
Yeah,
were affecting people around me, and it even affected my sister and just other people. But when I heard that, I realized like every single little thing that I was doing was hurting my dad. He
yeah,
was the main provider for the family. He was trying to support us.
yeah,
He couldn't work because I was getting suspended and he was dealing with my actions. And I understood like I needed to make a change. But I remember going home that night and I go into my dad's room, bro, and I sometimes it gets emotional saying this because it's
yeah,
so real. I remember I knock on my dad's door and he says, "Come in." And I came in and I was like, "Dad, I'm so sorry." And I gave my dad this big hug. And I was like, "I'm so sorry for what I've been doing. I understand that it's like hurting you and affecting you.
yeah,
And I'm never going to be this man again." And he's like, "I appreciate that." And at that point, my dad didn't believe it. He was calling bluff. So I asked him the next day, I was like, "What do you want me to do to change?" He's like, "You need to find work. You need to start being productive."
yeah,
So I try and find jobs at all these places. There's a grocery store I was going to work at where I'd be bagging, where the grocery stores where you put stuff into
wow,
the bags,
yeah,
groceries. So I was gonna be a bag boy,
oh,
and I was like, do you know what? Fuck that. I don't want to do that. But I had no choice. So I for jobs a lot of days they make you take a drug test.
yeah,
So I took the drug test and I failed it because I had weed in my system from smoking.
yeah,
So I was like, what am I gonna do?
yeah,
So do you know what Craigslist is?
yeah, yeah. That online e-commerce platform, yeah,
Yeah. So I go on Craigslist and you can post like jobs and stuff on there. I
yeah.
post an
Oh,
ad and I say, I need a job ASAP. And it's like people that will reply to your offers.
yeah,
So I remember this guy Marvin Jones, he called me one day. He's like, Cole, what's going on? I saw your offer on Craigslist. Like I could help you with work. I was like, all right. I had a big ego, but a small bank account. I didn't believe it, but he kept calling me. Marvin was persistent and he's like, yo, come down, come see what we have.
yeah,
So one day I go down to this office they have and I go and see this product that they have, this presentation, and it was basically for a multi-level marketing company, but they were selling something called a U-Box. So it was like this little device
yeah,
that plugs into your TV. and you can watch any movie. It's like a
Oh,
Fire Stick.
okay,
You can
yeah.
watch any yeah, any movie, TV show, movies in theaters, pay-per-view events, everything. So you pay $150 to get it, and then it runs off Wi-Fi. So
Oh,
I got involved in that company, and I like started learning sales. But what really changed is there was somebody in that company that was my age, and his name was Tyree.
yeah.
Now Tyree were the same age, but I was broke. Tyree was balling, doing like $5,000 a month
Yeah.
at 17 years old. It's like,
Yeah.
who is it? So one day at the different office, I meet Tyree. I was like, yo, you're Tyree, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, bro, I'm Colt. I've heard about you. Like, you're killing it. Let's connect soon. He's like, yeah, here's my Instagram. So I get his Instagram. And then one day, like, we started a conversation. We started talking. He's like, yo, you want to come over? So Tyree, his dad was the vice president of the company that we were in. And his
Oh,
dad was already a multi-millionaire.
yeah.
So Tyree's like, yo, come to the house, come over. I was like, sure. I was expecting like a normal house.
Yeah.
I pull up Uber, and as I hop out in the driveway, there's a Rolls Royce Ghost, Ferrari California,
Yeah.
S550, a Sprinter van, and it's this massive white mansion. I have it on my Instagram
Yeah.
actually. But I see this and I was like, no way I'm about to like kick it with somebody who lives here. And I go to the front door. I text him. I was like, I think I'm here. I'm at the door.
I
And he
think I'm
comes. He's
here.
like, yo, what's up? Yeah. He's like, yo, what's up? Come in. I was like, shit. I was like, dope crib, bro.
Yeah.
And like, so the moral of the story, there's more that goes into it, but I was hanging out with these broke motherfuckers all the time.
Yeah.
And then I changed. For things to change, we need to change as
Yeah.
humans. So I made a decision because I was emotionally impacting and physically impacting the people that I love in my life. And I said that I need to fucking make a change. So when I made that change, I stopped hanging out with these broke people my age. Then I started hanging out in a mansion with multimillionaires.
Nice.
So it's just crazy because once that happened, I started learning more about sales, business, self development. We all start doing self development when we
Yeah.
get into the office space. Think and Grow Rich, How to Win, Influence Friends. I read those books and
Yeah.
it all started clicking. But then a couple months after joining that one company where I met Tyree, Tyree introduced me to Forex. He
Oh.
showed me some guy's Instagram, and on the Instagram was this guy on jets, yachts in Miami. I was like, what the fuck is this? He's like, yeah, it's called Forex. I was like, Tyree, I don't have anything for my ex. What do you mean? What's Forex? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. So we joined like a multi-level marketing company. I remember funding my account on Traders Way, like the OG broker Traders Way.
Yeah.
And
And how much you funded with?
I think it was $100.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember I was on this guy Reza. Do you remember Reza?
Reza. Not sure if I remember.
Middle,
Yeah.
but this guy used to go on like Instagram Live or YouTube Live, and he would give free signals.
Oh.
And I remember being at the house. I had $100, and I clicked a button,
Yeah.
and I made like $2. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, this is Forex. So like, no way. So I studied it day in and day out, built like the whole, because I was in the multi-level marketing company
Yeah.
too. I was like building a team.
Yeah.
But there's like this one part in my trading career when I was like 18 years old. Because in the multi-level marketing companies, it's like me, then there's 3 people under, and then a bunch of people under them.
Yeah.
So one of my top 3 people, this guy Chris, he was killing it in the business, and we were working together for months. But then I get a call from one of his friends that was in his downline.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, Colt, what's going on? I need to talk to you. I was like, what's up? He's like, Chris just died. I was like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he got hit by a car. He was dragged under this car for fucking 5 minutes before the person realized he was under the car, and he was pronounced dead on the way to the hospital. I was like, are you serious? So that was like my first failure is I had one of my downlines killed and my business kind of crumbled. And I was like, do you know what? I want to learn actually how to trade and become profitable.
Yeah.
So I invested into a mentor mentor from the money that I had made from some trading, but more recruiting people into the business. And I invested in a mentor, paid him 10K, learned the strategy. Then at 19 years old, I hit a six-figure income from trading, like started living a crazy lifestyle, driving Lambos,
Yeah.
exotic cars, going to nice houses, connecting with very high-end people, got asked to speak at speaking engagements. Like everything just clicked
Yeah.
very quickly. That's because I let everything go. Like I was sitting in my apartment that I was living at for hours, just grinding all day from the second I woke up to the second I went to sleep, was just focused on learning how to trade as much as I could.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now like trading's been good. I've been at the six-figure mark for a couple of years now, but I'm going for seven figures in 2024.
Nice. Love
So
that.
it's crazy though how everything started, because I believe that we all have there. It's like we can hear someone say something and it will resonate with us so much more than if we were to just say that to ourselves. Like I could say to myself, do you know what? My actions are probably affecting my dad in a way that's not good. I
Yeah.
need to change. But hearing it from somebody that I looked up to, and I love my brother, when my brother said those words, it hit me like a fucking train, knowing that I need to change. This isn't a joke.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I look back at,
That's
like,
true.
bro, we both have this jewelry on.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's cool to have this stuff. But what I look back at most is the impact that I have on other people, especially my family,
Yeah.
but also the person that I have become today. And if we want to see really high levels of success,
Yeah.
just like you did a ton of self-development,
Yeah.
you have to become a completely different person for things to change.
That's true. That's true. That's one thing, because I feel like even like your story is very like it's inspiring at the same time it's touching, man. Because some things I was aware of, I knew I've been like I did say I've been following you for ages now. We've been talking for long, but I didn't know it was like that deep, and I know there's even more things that like if we go a bit more too deep into it would be like what you know yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like also it's more about the mindset. Like as soon as that day comes, like you see for you that changer was your brother, the drive home. Because someone will be like, maybe it was because of you made $2 a day, or maybe it was because of you bought that course, or maybe it was because of. But that just that one day when your brother was driving you back home and he mentioned just a simple sentence that changed everything for you, changed the mindset. But at the same time, it also started now showing you what you should put more of your attention to, and what you should be using your efforts into doing, compared to using that to creating travels, creating just doing all those things. So yeah, man, I love that, man. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Yeah, man.
But
So, but like throughout all of that, like how, like in terms of, because I understand that, like you are young, you've now you're reaching the success. Maybe there's now ladies that are coming to you. Like how do you handle like that? Like in terms of maybe, because I understand, like obviously when you're starting to get success, there'll be, it's either ladies that will just want to come to you, or maybe like in terms of a girlfriend, like a lady that you'd be dealing with, or something simpler or similar to that. Like how do you go about that?
so there's a quote and it says, "A man that can hold down his sexual urges is a very strong man."
Okay.
And I've been dating a girl for a couple of months now. She's amazing. I
Yeah.
love her. Definitely
Perfect.
see a future with her and having kids.
Yeah.
But there's definitely like that. I look at a lot of my friends
Yeah.
that are around me, and these are high level men.
Yeah.
But I see one thing in common with a lot of men, and not even just my close friends, but
Yeah.
a lot of boys and men in this society, and they're all sprung on the idea of having sex,
Yeah.
being with girls, like they're chasing this. And like you have to build the thing with women. Women are amazing, beautiful creatures. They're born with their value. A lot of women, their value is their beauty.
Yeah.
But as a man, we have to build our value, and our value comes from what we can provide to the table. Our
That's
success, our finances. I hate to say it, but it's true.
yeah.
And who we are as a man. So a lot of the people that I see, and one thing that I realized is I used to chase girls before I started trading.
Yeah.
But then once I got into entrepreneurship and started trading, I worked on myself
Yeah.
to attract better women into my life. But women have been a massive distraction in my life previously, and I learned to like kind of not do it. But I see you got your girl, bro.
Yeah.
It's that one woman can come into your life and make it a lot hell of a harder, or they can make your life peaceful and easier.
Yeah, that's true. The reason I'm even asking this is because I have, a younger brother of me that was also asking me the same thing, like, what's going on, ladies, they're coming, all the, and the one thing that I just said was like, obviously, when you're pushing, like, when you're focusing on yourself, you won't even have time to be in a relationship, like, honestly speaking, because as soon as you wake up, you're hustling, you're putting in the work, and by the time you are looking around, it's late, you are sleeping, you're resting, even like what 3 hours. So I was walking him through that, and I mentioned that there'll be a time where you are gonna grow, become a better person, which now you're gonna attract someone that's gonna be on the same level as you, or someone that's gonna now help you to move to the next level. So it's much more better this way compared to just trying to be there and there, and having to put maybe your sexual energies, or having people to get that much easy access to. You need to also have something whereby, as much as a guy can, like, let's say other guys would be seeing a girl and say, yo, that's my dream girl, I want to, it should be that thing of you, like, like girls should know that I would want to, but I would never get him because he's keeping himself, like, that type of thing.
the, the thing too is men need to understand that there's certain actions that, like, every action has a reaction, but the way that we're like, I got my dog by me, but a lot of men are like dogs,
Yeah.
and high value men, like the right men, are like cats.
Yeah.
And the way that I think of it is, if people walk through my front door right now,
Yeah.
my dog's gonna bark. He's gonna go smell them, probably try and hump their leg because he's a little horny dog.
Yeah.
But a lot of men are like dogs. When a girl walks into a party or something, or a room, they try and go and approach them and like, hey,
Yeah.
what's up? My name's so and so. Girls don't like that.
No.
You gotta pull up and kick it.
Yeah.
And it's like a cat. Cats are very reclusive
Yeah.
when they see somebody. But if you're chill, the cat will come to you and they'll say what's up. So you can't really chase women. It's like anything in life. The more you chase something, the
Yeah.
harder it is going to run the opposite way. And that's in not just women, it's everything with money.
Yeah.
Because there's resistance that's built when you're trying to chase something. There's a lot of pressure. So it's like you're going this way and they're going that way. So it's a constant, never-ending chase.
Yeah.
Versus if you just chill, and that's where it's like working on yourself. Like, make sure you're a good guy.
Yeah.
You have good morals. Do self-development, because you are what you put out at the end of the day.
That's true, man, and I love that, man. Because also, trading in general, it trading, like, one thing that I love about it is that besides being able to buy, make a profit, or sell, make a profit, it also helps with the mindset. It helps you be able to learn certain things about you that you never knew. Because even me now, there was a time whereby when I was still involved in the streets, I was not like, I was not even close to God, those types. I never prayed, I never done nothing. But when I started praying, when I started getting into the psychology of things, when I started, like, going through personal development, I don't know what, but something also led me to reading the Bible and, being closer to God, having to pray, do those amazing things. So, like, trading in general, the psychological side of trading, and even you wanting to become better, I feel like trading is a reflection of yourself. If you are going to blow your account, it's because of you are greedy as a person. Do you get it? It's not the market being greedy. It's you looking at the markets and wanting to take everything. That's why the money is gonna run away from what you're saying, the chasing thing. The money is gonna run away even from your trading account. So that's the same thing. But if you are, a consistently profitable trader, which is one that executes their plan every single day. If you take a loss, it's according to your risk. If it's a win, it's according to your plan and stuff. Automatically, money is gonna be rewarded to you because of the fact that you are doing something that is right every single day on a consistent basis. And remember, it's just a reflection of you, the markets, like, whatever, because you can just go in the markets now and double your account, or you can blow it, or you can do whatever. It's just a reflection of your actions, let me put it that way.
And back on that, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So I see when I mentor people, like, I do one-on-one mentorship, and I love it because I can dissect who a person is and see exactly what's hindering them from their trading. So it's like, how you do one thing in your life is how you do everything. If you can't have self-discipline to say, I should not go to McDonald's. It's not good for me.
Yeah.
How do you expect that self-discipline to not take a setup that's not there?
That's
So
true.
it's these little things like reprogramming and reframing the way that you think, the way that you act.
Yeah.
And one thing too that's major is once I started studying the psychology of trading, I understand that unconsciously I have developed these characteristic traits in my adult life that I had learned from my childhood. When I was a kid, I'd be at a family gathering and I'd go up to my dad after 30 minutes of being there and I'd say, Dad, when are we going to go home? Dad, can we go home?
Yeah.
So I had impatient nature
Yeah.
all throughout my childhood, and it got worse through my adulthood. And then I finally understood that this is not a characteristic trait that I wish to possess, is Colt Mo's depth, and I need to change it. And that's when I started working on it, being more present, doing meditation, praying with God. But these little things, and if you want to become a millionaire, you have to become a completely different person.
Yo, that's true, man. And at some point, like I remember when I started getting into, meditations, affirmations, and stuff. At some point, I even got scared. Like I stared at myself in the mirror and I was like, what if, being a millionaire is gonna mean, I'm gonna be a totally different person. I don't wanna be different. I wanna be the same person, just with more money. Those types of things. So that's what I had. But with the process of personal development, I noticed that who I was, who I liked being at the time was like, it's not even me, because some years my life was just dark. I didn't know why I was doing whatever I was doing, all those types of things. So when I started being more awake, more aware, that's when things started being nice. Like, I started being positive. I didn't fight with people. Whenever I'd walk, even in the grocery store, I would send positive, love to the cashier, return it, and I'd be like, oh wow, people are nice to me. Those types of things, and like things started just being, yeah. So I feel like, things like meditations, affirmations, being able to just reprogram to yourself, who you are, what it is that you want, and meditating, just being able to just dedicate those few hours or minutes to yourself every single day. Because imagine now, you mentioned that you are doing a mentorship, one-on-one mentorship. Obviously you're going to dedicate maybe an hour with a student or something similar to that, or even also when you're recording your videos, you're going to be dedicating time to help these people, which is also for free when you're recording your YouTube videos, all those types of things. So now at the end, if you have time to be helping, giving out to the masses, it's very right of you to just give yourself at least 30 minutes a day towards meditation, which is to just connect with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Love this talk. This is powerful because not a lot of people talk about the psychology of trading, but I don't want to be on here too long.
Yeah.
What I want to do is I'll break down my strategy really quick. Like, bro, I could break it down within 10 minutes, super quick.
Nice.
And then I want yours too.
No problem. Even my one, I'm just going to walk through a setup that I'm looking for the weekend. Yeah, simple.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. That was it. All right. So let me get here. All right. So all I've been trading, let me minimize this so we can see everything. Okay, guys. All I've been trading lately is NAS 100 on my trading view.
Okay.
I have NAS 100 on my watch list. I have NAS 100 Owanda. So if you go here, just type in NAS 100. Okay. And then I have the Owanda. And then I'm going to show you guys the indicators I've been using. Okay. A couple of levels that I use that are really going to help and make the biggest change in your trading. Nice. And overall what I look for, the setup that I look for. So first I want to go over like the indicators. If you guys want to copy my chart settings, check this out. Symbol page is like this. Status line is like this. Nice. Scale like this. Canvas like this. And that's all that really matters. Nice. Trading, this, events like this. Perfect. And then my indicators, I'm going to just go over 2 indicators that are really, really powerful. So the first one is the sessions indicator right here. Sessions, Asia, London, New York colored. Okay. And then once you go to that, what I'm focused on, because I'll go over the times I trade, but I only have the New York session marked up and I have it in white with the opacity at 10%. Okay. And that's the box right here behind the candles. Yeah. This is telling me where the New York session is because that's the only session that I trade. Okay. And the next indicator that I have is the Asia range and kill zones. Okay. And then for that indicator, for the settings, I only have the Asia session marked up, the range color. That's all that matters.
Okay.
And then we can see that indicator is right here, this box right here.
Yeah.
So when I trade, I'm showing up. And if you guys want to pause this video and go back, awesome. There's going to be a lot of golden nuggets I'm going to drop. Very simple stuff, but very, very effective. When I'm trading, I'm showing up to the markets 10 minutes before the market opened.
Okay.
So let me write this up. And then the main candle we're looking at is on the minute 15 time frame.
Okay.
Looking at the 6:15 a.m. candle. So when I'm trading, I pull up to the markets at 6:20 a.m. and I do a quick top-down analysis where I go from the daily, and usually I'll look at the previous daily candle. So I was looking at on Friday, I took this trade. I'll show you guys what I did.
Okay.
But I see the market's already in an uptrend, very clear. We've been stuck between the zone for the past like week and a half.
Yeah.
And then I saw doji form right here. So I go to the daily. I'm like, all right, my bias for on the daily is to go long.
Yeah.
And that'll go 4 hour. I'm looking at this candle right here, the 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. candle. Bullish, I'm looking for buys. We broke this resistance that we were holding. We're going for buys. And then I'll go the 1 hour, and I'll look at the 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. candle. Bullish, price is really starting to push up.
Yeah.
And then I'll end on the minute 15 time frame. And the candle that I look at all the time is this one right here, the 6:15 to 6:30. Okay. So when this candle is about to close, where are my drawings? Let me go back and move this real quick. Can we move this over here so you guys can see that?
Okay.
So when I'm trading, I'm looking at this candle right here, the 6:15 to 6:30 a.m. candle.
Yeah.
And it takes me about 5 minutes to do my analysis. I do a top-down analysis. I've realized that if I stick and look at the markets for a very long time, my mind's going to be scatterbrained and I'm going to think of this bias, this bias. Like I do it under 5 minutes and I stick to that bias. Yeah. But what I need is I find the overall trend that we're in, an uptrend or downtrend, and then I look for the 6:15 to 6:30 candle to close in confluence with that trend. So since I'm in an uptrend here, I want to see a bullish candle close or some type of candle that's going to give me confirmation that it's actually going to go up. Okay. Now, this is like the biggest hack right here. There is usually a timer that will tell you when the next candle is about to open up. We know at 6:30 a.m. it's casino time. All the money's coming into the market. So what I do is when this ticker has 3 to 5 seconds left, I'm executing my trade if I see my setup. I don't do buy limits, sell limits, anything. I only do market execution.
Nice.
So when I see that, that's when I take my trade. But let me explain this indicator right here, the Asia range. Okay. What I like to see is I like to mark it up with a rectangle. And I like to see price break the high or the low of the Asia range and stay within that range. Notice how we broke the high of the Asia range right here on this candle. This body of this candle closed above it. Yeah. So that's getting confirmation that buyers are in control of the market. And notice how smooth it is, bro. This market's just higher highs, higher lows, very small candles. And the volume comes in, and that's when I know, okay, the volume is going to stay that way. It's going to keep pushing up. Yeah. So then I want my candle to enter on. But notice how we have our Asia range right here. Okay. It's very easy to see. But then look at the Asia range right here. I define these markets as kind of choppy markets. Yeah. Notice how the Asia range, it breaks a low, then it breaks a high, and then it breaks a low. Yeah. It's hard to identify what's going to happen. So I like to look for one specific smooth trend. Yeah. And you guys should all go back and back test and look at this more frequently. So, and then I also have my psychological levels. So all these lines right here are my psychological levels. I use them as reference points for my take profit and stop loss. Nice. So I actually entered on the 5 minute chart. This was a trade that I took. So I have a bunch of videos like a candlestick guide, but there's certain types of candles I look at. One is called a spinning top, and it's right here on this candle.
Yeah.
But I ended up taking a long position right here. I bought after this candle closed at 635. Usually my stop loss is like 500 pips for NAS.
Okay.
And then for my TP, I aim for the next psych level. So that was a trade that I took right there.
Nice.
Just to show you how it played out. And this is the thing when I'm let me actually exit out of this so I can show you guys.
Okay.
Let's all pretend that these candles are not here.
Yeah.
I need it to be like this to show you. But when I execute my buy or my sell, I don't sit there and look at the markets the whole time because I got shit to do.
Yeah,
I got a
that's
very busy life. I got students to work with, content to make, all that stuff. So what I do is I go here and I set alerts. So for my first alert will be where my take profit is. 15,200, my next psych level. Then I'll put like something right here, TP hit. And then I can make the notifications do whatever I want.
Nice.
And then I create. So I have an alert for my take profit.
Perfect.
And then I create an alert for my stop loss too. So 15,062. And then I'll put a little note right here, the message, NAS 100, stop loss hit.
Nice.
Boom. So now instead of me looking at the markets all day, I'm going to be alerted when it hits my take profit or my stop loss. And then I can go to MetaTrader 4 and make sure my position's closed. But the reason why I have this set and forget mentality is because I used to trade. And let's say I see the market push up like this and I'm in profit. Sometimes I would prematurely close my profits versus letting it go and hitting my take profit. So I would have like a good winning rate, but my profits, I was leaving thousands of dollars on the line because I was just emotional. And this is where my impatient side of me was coming in, is I would just close trades prematurely.
Yeah.
And also with my stop loss too, I would go and see it going down negative. I was like, it's going to hit my stop loss. Let me just close now.
Yeah.
And it would actually not hit my stop loss and it would hit my TP later. So I'm an intraday trader, but I like to have my trading very automated to where I just enter my trade, I walk away, and I go about my day. But my strategy is very simple. I believe that timing is very important to show up at the right time.
Yeah.
The minute 15 time frame is my fucking baby.
Yeah.
I'm usually always entering on the minute 15 time frame. My psychological levels made a real big difference knowing where price is going to go to next, and then figuring out my Asia range. I want to see it break the high or the low, and I want it to continue in that trend. I don't want it to break the high, then the low, then the high, then go up. I want it to see one very clear trend, and then also candlestick recognition, knowing what candles to enter on.
Yeah.
But that's my strategy, bro. It's very simple. Obviously, there's more things that go into it.
Yeah.
I do teach that like to my mentorship students, but that's it, bro.
Yeah.
U.S.A.
No problem. Nice. That's clean, man. I believe the people that are watching, even for me now, man, I learned so much, I took so much in. And obviously, like, the people that are watching here, if they missed out on these gold nuggets that you shared, they've missed out, man. But you can't really share. You can't give everything. They have to access via the mentorship. But so far, man, I'm excited, man. I love what I saw.
Let me make you host so you could share your screen.
Sure. There we go. Perfect. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay. There we go. Okay, so with my one, man, it's almost like similar to the same thing. It's very simple. Just not only seeing all these lines and stuff and be thinking that there's a lot going on here. It's just some trades that were executed during the week. So what happens is that normally I start off first. Let me just write this down. It depends basically in terms of I could be a scalper and at the same time I could be a swing trader. So normally what influences that is, let's say for during the week, if I'm going to be busy, there's a lot of things that are going on. I've got places to go, things to do and stuff. That week is where I'll be swinging more, I'll be swinging more trades because I don't have much time to basically dedicate every 5 minutes or 10 minutes to the markets. But most times I'm actually in the house, I'm just active and stuff. So that's when you'd see me day trading because of the fact that, I'm in front of my PC, I'll have my alerts, I can attend them and stuff. So what happens is that when I happen to seeing trade, what I do is that on the daily I look for the trend in terms of what movement is actually being built, and then on the 4 hour what I look for is that I look for the pattern. So we use our pattern strategy, pattern in terms of whether it's a continuation pattern to the trend that we are looking at, or is it a reversal type pattern. And then I go all the way down to the 1 hour, and on the 1 hour, that's where basically I'll be able to get candlestick confirmations. So similar to the same things that you did mention about the spinning tops, your hammers, your tweezer buttons, tweezer tops. Those are some of the candlestick confirmations that I see, that I look for on critical areas. But now let me walk you
That's
through. Yeah,
fire right there.
yeah,
That's fire. I never really looked at it like you do. One time frame is a trend, then
yeah.
the another one is a pattern, then your candlestick, and then
Yeah,
yeah.
this normally this I come with it, like, because what it does is that I know, even if I didn't catch it at the right entry, the fact that I'm right with the trend being an upward trend, you know I might make profit, just by being right from the trend, not even the entry, but yeah, that's when I'm swinging my trades. But when I'm day trading, what I do is that I'll just use the 1 hour, 1 hour as a trend, as soon as the market opens. So normally I'll just show you my watch list, the ones that I trade, and then I'll be using the 15-minute as for patterns, 15-minute for patterns, same scene but in a much more smaller time frame, and then I'll be using the 5-minute for entries, for candlesticks, 5-minute candle confirmations. So this is when I'm day trading my charts, because I know every 5-minute candlestick that closes, I'm able to observe it, adjust my stop loss, trail stop, do all those things. But this is more like me coming from a swing perspective and a day trading perspective. But you can see here we've got the watch list that I have. Normally I'll look at the dollar index in general, what's actually going on. Is it buying, is it selling and stuff? And these are the indices that I'll be looking at, and the currency. But for now I'm focusing more on gold, so let's just get into gold. um, so if you see here, let's say for instance, we came from this being an upward trend all from like literally when the year started, like close to last year November, and it's been shooting upwards and going upwards. So we made some profits with price going upwards. When price was here, we believed that maybe price is going to continue pushing upwards up until higher highs, but it didn't do that. You can see it's obviously building higher highs, higher lows, and higher highs. Right now it hasn't broken in terms of now we have changed the trend. It's a sellers, but we've seen that there's obviously more room for higher highs to be broken. So that's one thing we're looking for. But now what I've done is that I went to as low as the 4 hours. So on the 4 hour, remember now, from the bigger perspective, I'm looking for a pattern. And with this, as soon as when price broke out of here, like you can see here, this was my 4 hour pattern. It broke out. As soon as it broke out on the 1 hours, I kept on looking for entries. So here we caught ourselves, we kept on going down with it. And one thing that I do is that if I sell and it gives me more profits, and let's say if I see a buy setup and the buyers are hitting me stop loss, automatically in my head I can see that I'm in a seller's market. So I'll just try to get sells as many as possible up until sales are like flat out, like there's no more sell opportunities. So that's the same thing that I was experiencing here. Price kept on shooting downwards, but with this current new trade, this was on Friday. With this current new trade that we are now looking into executing, because on Friday as well we took a buy here. How I go about it is, remember daily, I saw now we are in an upward trend on the daily. The market is building higher highs, higher lows, higher highs and stuff. And here I'm looking at the pattern, and this is a descending type pattern, which means that descending type patterns eventually they break to the upside. So with this I can see we are now at our support, first touch, second touch, this is the third touch. So normally when the market touches a support or resistance zone for the third time, it's where price is much more, there's a high chance it's going to reject at that level, because it's the third time, it has built, it's now much more stronger. So after that happens, I can see it gave us the third touch here, and price gave us this engulfing on the 4 hour. So this engulfing was just more of a confirmation in terms of price trying to push upwards, but I went to as low as the 1 hour. And here I was involved in a sell at first. I took a sell. I believed that it was going to come down here for a double bottom, before I could go up. but eventually price, when it was still somewhere here, I locked in profits here, and price pushed upwards. Because why? The reason I also locked in profits was that now I was starting to see the change of perspective. I was seeing this being the left shoulder, this being the head, and this being the right shoulder, inverse head and shoulders. And yeah, I did spot it, and it played out. So I couldn't catch it here because I wanted to catch it as soon as it took out my sell, but I couldn't catch it there. What happened is that as soon as this candlestick confirmed by breaking, like let's say with this let me just do this candlestick, as soon as it confirmed with the breakout here, because you can see it's very impulsive, it's very engulfing, it's a strong candlestick, it has a lot of buyers momentum. So as soon as it closed here, that's when we executed our buy. We put our stop loss somewhere below here, and our take profit, we're looking at this area of resistance here, which is the previous lowest high here. But we'll see once it gets there, maybe we can just continue to just push it all the way up until the second area of resistance, which is here. But normally that's how I go about it, and that'll be me entering from the 1 hour time frame. But like I did say, when I'm more active on the charts, what I'm more likely to do now is I'm more likely to just go down to the 15 minutes. And when I'm on the 15 minutes now, I'm gonna be observing, like I know I'm looking for a buy from the daily, from the 1 hour candlesticks have confirmed. So what I'll do is that I'll just look for price where it has broken above, and maybe treat an area as a support, because I want to buy at support. I never want to buy at resistance. So what I do is that, let's say now for instance, you can see here, with this area right here, let's say here for instance, price came resisting, and here price broke out impulsively, and as soon as it came back to retest here, and it retested here more than once, twice, and three times. This is the 15 minute. So what I do is that when I'm looking for those tight entries that are going to give me a very small stop loss, I'll go to as low as the 5 minute, and I'll be waiting for candlestick confirmation at the 5 minute. So let's say now for instance, price broke above, it came back, maybe it's retesting here for the first time. As soon as I'll be seeing this engulfing, this is a hammer, it rejected massively to the downside, and it closed with a very strong bullish momentum. So from this, it'll be a sign of me to just execute my buy. And one thing that I like about this is that besides me having that 1 hour stop loss that I would have to put my price here, I can easily now just adjust my stop loss and bring it all the way to here. And now I can, I'm entering with a bigger time frames perspective, but I'm now gonna enter with the tightest stop loss and at the smallest time frame. But what it does is that it's still, if you look at my risk compared to reward, you can see that what it does, it increases the rewards, because now I went from maybe 1 to 3 to now 1:7, and if this trade happens to hit my take profit, which is somewhere around here, automatically it means that I'm gonna back 7. So anytime I'd risk 1 in order to be able to make more than 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. That's one of the trades that I look for. But yeah, that's in the most simplest ways, I believe that is my strategy. Obviously, with some points there's a lot to it, but yeah, I feel like just keeping it simple, it's what I can. Yeah.
I think what you just said was an eye opener for me.
Yeah.
It's using certain time frames to figure out what our objective is on that. Like the higher time frames is figuring out what the trend is.
Yeah.
Then the time frame after that, like looking for patterns like AV, hammerhead, whatever patterns you see.
Yeah.
And then the minute you're looking for the candle to actually enter on. So that's powerful right there. I like that a lot.
I will.
Especially broken down to like the swing strategy.
Yeah.
Daily hour for 1 hour, and then the scalp strategy hour 1, 15, minute 15, minute 5.
Yeah. And with that as well, just by being able to, with patterns, like if it's an upward trend on the pattern side, I'm only looking for continuation patterns, meaning that patterns that are going to continue with the trend. I'm not trying to get like your reversals. I've backtested many times, so I know that reversals, and I don't have a high win rate when it comes to reversals. But when I look for continuations only, even if I don't catch it at the rightest moment, but I'm on the right side of the market, it's going up here. So that's something that also changed things for me.
Yeah, that's powerful, bro. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna implement these things too.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Oh,
Even yeah, you're like I like how your charts are in general. Even the structure of it. So I like the fact that you even showed the template that you're using. So that's something that most people are gonna be able to take advantage of, including myself. I believe that I can even take the template that you're using. But yeah, man, I just love the fact that you showed us how you trade, and that's the most important thing, being able to see how someone is able to be consistent from the markets, the same market that all of us trade. Why is someone consistent and why is someone not consistent? And it's because you've got a detailed plan like the one that you just showed us now.
yeah. Hell
Yeah,
yeah, bro. I
yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, no
But
problem.
this was a good interview, bro. I think we've been on here for like an hour and a half, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yo, it's over an hour, man. It's over an hour. Let me just record this on my Instagram story. But yeah,
Yeah.
nice, man.
Let's
Cool.
go.
Yeah, just done an interview with my brother, yo, Colt, most deaf, but you guys are gonna see it on YouTube. I'm just excited, man. There's a lot of nuggets that were shared, man. He shared a lot about his story, his upbringing, not even just that, but also the strategy that he uses to be able to make thousands of dollars in the markets every single day. But yeah, guys, I'm excited, man. I'm excited that I've learned from you, man.
Let's go.
Let's
Hell yeah.
go.
Um, one thing too that's super powerful. I'll leave with this is when you're setting. Oh, let me get the screen real quick.
Yeah,
Like one thing that's so minor but so powerful is trading's all psychology.
yeah,
And there's certain colors, like if you look at McDonald's, they
yeah,
use the colors red
yeah,
and yellow
yeah,
to gives you like a feeling of it makes people more hungry. So
yeah.
one thing that you guys can look into is when you're looking at your the candles, for your candles that are going down, have them in colors like white or
Okay.
yellow or even pink candles like that, because when we see red, it's kind of a fearful color out there, and it can
Mm,
like bring out certain emotions. So
nice.
that's one thing too that you guys could do, just thinking.
That's
But
powerful. Wow, that's
hell yeah,
yeah, that's
I'm
nice, man.
excited for this to drop, bro.
Yeah.
Let me stop